Hey, what's up? It's Thomas here. Welcome to my Nutcracker overview. If I sound a little bit strange, that's because I'm absolutely drugged up out of my mind because I have a bug. I'm not just drugged out of my mind just for the sake of it. So Nutcracker is out and it's absolutely savage. It's unapologetic. It wants to be your number one go-to ferocious amp tone for everything. And it should be. With Nutcracker, we've introduced some brand new features, some brand new tech, which I'm really excited to see how you use it. But for now, let's dive right in and I'll give you an overview and we'll go through some of the features. There we go. Let's go. So this is the first thing that you're going to see. There's a whole bunch of presets, but I'm going to stick with the initial default preset. This is how it sounds right out of the box. Super heavy, super aggressive, super tight. So we have 4 preamp pedals, 3 distinctive drive pedals. Storm, very good for shaping up low extended range guitars, incredible for 8 strings, just so aggressive. Boost, a little bit more of a traditional drive pedal. You can use it in various ways where you can turn the drive down and crank the output, play with the sort of bass treble as it hits the front end of the amp, super versatile. And then we have a very modern drive as well, which is excellent for aggressive and tight tones. I've added a compressor to the mix because, as you'll see a little bit later, with the technology that we've introduced with Nutcracker, we're able to go beyond really heavy tones. The next page is 10 speaker chains. There's also a brand new feature here called Speaker Voice Edit. I'm going to save that just for a second, and we'll come back to that. So we have resonance, air, room. Always great for just giving you that amp in the room sound. Super cool. I'm going to turn that off for now. Next up, we have Shape EQ and Mastering EQ. Shape EQ has a pre and post switch, which is really cool because you can use it basically as a boost pedal. So if I just crank up loads of treble and loads of mids into the front end of the signal, I can mimic all kinds of classic and weird and wonderful drive pedals that have unusual voicings. And then we have the Mastering EQ, which is more gentle scopes, just those finishing touches. We have delay and reverb. With 3 different modes, standard, Pong, and wide. And then reverb, which sounds absolutely just delightful. Really, really clear, transparent tails on this guy. Now you notice I've just turned that reverb off, but the tails, the spill if you like, is still going. Now this is really, really cool. If I go into the amp here and show you a feature called Supercut, this makes your tone really, really lo-fi, and it's like great for little licks between riffs or maybe intros and stuff. So for example, it just makes your tones that much more ferocious as you come in. But what's even more cool, if you put Supercut and reverb and delay with spill on at the same time, you can do some really, really awesome things. So check this out. Really, really cool, and the tail's obviously continuing. So I've mapped the delay, the reverb, and Supercut to one foot switch. So when I push down, I get that lo-fi sound with reverb and delay, and when I lift off, I get my dry, aggressive tone. So that's a really, really cool new ability that we've introduced with Nutcracker. Let's go to the actual amp itself because we've got a brand new EQ system in Nutcracker. Starting off with the bass. Now, what's really cool about the new EQ system is it does its best to kind of level out the levels, level out your levels, so you don't get those big, huge swings in levels when you're playing with the low mids, for example. It gets that tone adjusted, but it keeps the level pretty much exactly where it should be. So when you're adjusting it in the context of a mix, it just makes your job as a guitarist or as a producer much easier, because you're not having to adjust the EQ, then adjust the level, and you're going back and forwards. You can just focus on your tones, and that's great. So next we have the ultra tight switch. Even on this guitar just tuned to D standard, you can get that extra sort of chugginess, if you like. It just helps to give you that barking sound. Supercut, which I just showed you. And then we have another interesting feature. This is the ability to change the age of the tubes. And I love this because when the tubes are flipped to the old position, they're kind of like on their last dying days, and they're fighting for their life. So what happens is they actually introduce secondary distortions and secondary harmonics into your signal. It's a little bit more gritty, a little bit more nasty. So if you're really kind of into some darker but more sort of punky metal tones, I love the old tubes. But if you want that really tight, modern, heavy distortion tone, I prefer the new tubes for that. There's tons of gain on tap with Nutcracker. But you'll notice that with an extreme amount of gain, you're still able to hear the sort of pick attack of the strings. Really, really cool. And this becomes really, really useful. Like if I grab an 8-string guitar, it's trying to make sure that I have a nice full tone when I'm getting into the more twangy splits, and when I'm really cranking up the gain and I'm going obscene mode like with the full humbucker, it's basically making sure that I have pick articulation and all that coming through. It's a great little subtle thing that I absolutely love now. So gain intelligence with Nutcracker. All right, so with any of the speakers that we've included, you can now edit the actual voicing. So right now it's turned off. I turn it on. We've just created a brand new speaker sound from the existing speaker chain. This is so powerful because it stops you going on that mindless, never-ending quest of trying different IRs and stuff like that. And if I go to one of our brightest speakers, speaker number 10, let's say, for example, you wanted to dial back just that little top end, that sort of the frequency about 4K there. Check this out. If I go to one of the clean presets, acoustic magic nuts. So for this preset, I'm using speaker voice in a really creative way to pull out a lot of the mid-range frequencies, but at the same time, I'm using shape EQ to reduce 16 dB going into the amplifier, and because gain intelligence is there and it's reacting, we end up with this really, really cool clean tone. So here's Nuts in Space. No, that's funky. There we go, guys. That's a quick overview of Nutcracker. Absolutely losing my voice here. It's a heavy focused product, but its versatility might surprise you. You can do some great low gain, some amazing lead tones. You will be seeing me using this a lot of my live streams for leads. It's ferocious for that. But also with the speaker voice edit ability, you can get some brilliant acoustic-like clean tones. So pleasantly surprising, but viciously ferocious. And on that note, check out the demo for yourself. Check out the website, polychromdsp.com. And I'll see you back here, hopefully feeling just a little bit better real soon. Have a great day. Thanks so much. Cheers. Bye.